Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Masaan nang academic journey chile ipi na nga ito assistant professor lang anong lunham na turning points to na hinsay di.
Okay. Kay hi kaneo laya pet na. Maria Montessori imfala ko kanula kapain ini kay sa in class baby class apet na class 8 san ko Maria Montessori CBSE noya in 9 apet na 12 hi papa in Dehradun na Uttarakhand ako in lang chu imfal song chu ban to boy to protest one ni hat nin sipat lai chun 2008 la 9 ki ka chuna cha chu papan education girl for na hi boarding school la in ko in Christian boarding school la Grace Academy ki Christian school khana hi Dehradun en ko ya cha ako na chu ka formative years for hi Maria Montessori Foundation hoitan in lepi na na in terms of not just education but also faith Hagawlama hi le foundation hoi ta hi Grace Academy Dehradun chu principal party in sting oza ho oza pa thinking ta kan nei za chu I kalekha sim now wa he always put God first kiti hi in hi luhin school azong na chun hoi ta hi ini mapuya kamu in class 9 le 10 chu le hi banga chu mizo si isimu ki banga hi in a hin langa ko Sanskrit le Hindi bo option a chi phalai chan ni cha hi Hindi kana la kana struggle ma na ting le math song he khat class 9 ai kana fail kha fail la ka hin kwa paper ka fail na mas pen ai za ke zong chu ka lai na wala trunk box ki koi na room chu hosteler so acha ho ka changa le kha kana sim zui ka loi ho ki che pe na he na ka thang to ma tin ipiti da na ka tia ka sim le pathian nung si chun 23 out of 100 kana mo he na math sa chu so wa chu 90 70 sa ka hin mo so class 10 hi ka hin chai theya Grace Academy arts kana la no hi in mama papa chun school hoi zi chun ina dar ha sa nom po ina thagaw lama an hoi zi chun cha chu science kana la physics chemistry biology le home science kana la hin chiti chun hong chal chalin thinung se in 12 hing ki chai thein so chun Delhi University in Hindu college ha ka hung sim in English aban le English hong ki chai BA hong ki chai hi me honors hi DU ma kan bolin Lady Shri Ram College for women na ko kan chai hi na 2017 na chu BA 2012 to 2015 MA to 2015 to 17 so hi Korea hi English building opportunity kan mo hin aban le Teach for India kiti khat organization khat omin na chi hoti IF si azong ho chapang ho Hyderabad na slum chapang ho education initiative ading hi opportunity kana mo in several rounds of interview hi in sasam written test hi ultimately mama papa to hin ka ki hole no le pa hin aphat sa po na ani ni hi si chun PhD bolin na tin ke ading so athi ni ki bangena chinom na mon cha cho Korea ni ki chinom in opportunity cho ani ki open ta po in welcome letter chu ki muwa nga chu nu le pa thu zong ngai he ti a chu lay down kana bolin PhD kan apply pan le hin mun ti na hin kani tam zo chu ko na hung ki kha in achai na hi last attempt hi Ambedkar to ka sim na kan chai na pa hi ka apply pathin ko ma zong akine na ding dang ta po na kanu la ka pa thu ka ngai hi in ka dream ka lay down hin pathin nangin ipinei bol sa no mong ham ti hi adang ka bol na zo si la ko ki kha tai na helai nei pui nom ham ti hi Gideon ka gel do in Bible Gideon na cha chu ka taw a in ka taw le nu le paten zong ai taw pi achai na hin cha chu ka hin mu in 2017 to 2024 chan chu research kan bol hin English na Department of English ka thesis chu le cookie naga conflict thua he naga ho zong cookie ho zong survivor sokol ki mu pi athusimu amo thusima ko na chu research kan bol hi eti chu cham cha ka sei ni
Okay, na say hoy mama jeng he abana kain don num chu higher study hi subject tam ta option anu min a hin la nangin English na langin na abana teaching profession na hung lunin ipi chi ta na ipi inspiration ne ya chi feel langa nong lut kha ham
English hi kanewa ko na kanalung lut na area hi na nu le pa cha lut masa ka sei num jong hi nu le pa te it's te area of interest shi bol na jong hin big role a play ti hi ka emphasize no min azi so class 2 class 3 ka hi mama kon comics or tilai chu tinkle comics on hi na short stories or novel or tickle comics or any sim sa pa na hi in cha chu sim hi ka hung lung lut apart from academic sa chu thasi le hin tukana ka nga ji hin tinkle comic ti lung po do de tia chu hung ke pan ka pi jong hin happy chu le kha ani hi po in kanu anu he wanga chu story books ho pathin thulam story ho he kania pana any sim sa ji na cha chu interest develop ka hin nei hi in kahung machal chalen deraduna ka sei banga chu ka oza khat shepherd man ki ti khat ni omin ama hin potential animu student also hin student ho potential ang ki mu thei ani hi a hi in cha he ka oza pi kat pathin ama zal ka thangwa no min na azi chu potential nei imu phe na ha man guidance on in pi hi you have a career you can have a career in English in the future ni ti pi hi na si ako na chu ka hung machala la ya ti wa hi ka hin mu a chidai chu aban bana hung si English career in English he it was not decided at one point along the way he experiment chom career options adang zong an ki gel na hi wanga hi I always somehow return to English literature and to teaching si ako na chuna hi chan hi hung ki pha he ti chu chom lama ka sei ni mi hi
ichi assistant professor hi na dinga hi competitive exam like net UGC net JRF through ngai abjule chema sanga yong chu master chai hung ngai in abana research work ho jong bol angai in na ichi hi preparation na bol na experience to in share thai ham
okay I seibanga hi chapang hi in khoi mentor le apoi mo ma in na ke ya zong chu ka ona ka figure out chat hi po in PhD ka hong lu na ko na career lang hi kan gel hi a gel ge za chung kan ki sai nei wanga chu ka guide nu hi Sanju Thomas ma'am hi in Dr. Sanju Thomas ka pa chat mama a hi na ma hin third year tabang ka lu na PhD a hi scholarship UGC GRF net kan mu a chu ama hin na scholarship hi on hold bol lang na to na tong pantain lang experience ki la panin anati hin cha chu adi ita awang chu ani nya scholarship le na to hi aphal lo ai ji atu kyong UGC a kan chi a scholarship hi kan kha he na kum khat tabang nei pi hi win na to zo ka bolding chi zo on hold nei ko pi win lang chi zo le ka all le kanung khat non ki le ka ti a chu interview ho a hi ka ga zaw pan hin guest lectureship wa dinga he Swami Shraddhanam College sha kan ki pat na hi in ka to na hin Delhi University a Delhi le Haryana border hi na ama man ke patila chu DTC baswani ki tawana ki chizu hi in asat to ade hi zing hin ai wanga chu starting small is very important in life chi hi naute ho song katil ho no he aim big but be willing to start small na aneu wa ko na ha la ya ko na ki pat lo le ho in alien ta hi ki mu ji hi khat ve mo ki mu thei po in na pathin song it's a very transforming process so Swami Shraddhanana kan to a thanga ta bang chi zo wa research kan bol ki hi in chiki ka chun exam dang hin jong kan ki go in hi wanga ka mu chin khat chu thil khat hi bol ki chin ta hoi ta focus ngai ti kan het a pe nai PhD ka hin chai na 2024 a ka summit in chi zo ke ka hi 2024 a Jaipur a assistant professor ka hin mo hin a process preparation ki sei ta hile naute ho ko ma chu neu a ki pat ding chu ting le update hi zing ngai na university ka ito ano ma hele amo syllabus su ipi ham ti chu sim ding het ngai aban le area research na bol no ma le university also for to which areas are the experts in ti chu na huang ma sat diu chu research hon hon ki bo ma sat diu chudung je chu na thesis zong na ki prepare theyu chudung je interview a zong na ki go theyu na DU na hil normal la DU student aiming na ki het pio ma la chun am ho ko na chu notes an yu la zong please go and take from them and study ti zong chu ka se no min ke zong pastor let la the journey church pastor pa chanu naute ho khat Sunday school ka to khwam pi hon hi ba ne nem na St. Stephen Zakaya hi in ama ko na zong chu tua Stephen sa dang ki got na dinga he a note so first year second year hi na note so ko na tu ma syllabus song ka sim ai wanga class note song chu kan na sima kan na ki got a hin interview a dinga chu advice ka pinomen do bedding details an net say nom le say nang in do be the hi
Okay. Koi tabang khununga assistant professor a hi nom au malan na to a hi new education policy 2020 dungzu ya hi a course duration hong ki kheltan hi cha hi ipiti a chalwa ipiti say de ha step by step ana master asim lu hamelo direct a PhD bawla pham chi new education policy dungzu ya hi nan say theidam assistant professor pan na theina dinga
all right NEP 2020 say masanga chu inzo chun net le GRF long kana say haye na chu long chu chom khat ka ga khat mention no min ki hon kana pi la ya chu le paper 1 paper 2 paper 3 ni hi to hi le paper 1 le paper 2 bo hi ta na common exam khat abale na area specific area na nga subject area chu hi in ka approach ding da na naw ti ho ka til ko nom chi le paper 1 chu mi zo si ki te nei sa hi ni si in practice bolu with the amount ka say no min na ke song previous years questions so kana kila practice kana ball phone app kana ki download na paper 1 question ai lo le paper 2 English as on literature bo app my quiz so kana practice su hin e de ria ho chui le chun metro ki ka chi le ki ka hoi mo ki ka zong po phone scroll ball sanga na practice so na ball theu in langa hong now ti ho song part hi it ta na man le chun in no time God is going to make a way for you to say no min paper 2 a specific subject ita in practice is the only way to say no min na practice ha bola I bol diu chizo chunga poi mo chu imazo si hi pathina ko na in pathin gi nga hin po I manuwa na ama he ama sai koi le pathina dinga hi api mo imacha poi ti say no me te ni chu a hi in NEP 2020 he event they are now focusing also on multilingualism adang ho chi masa ka say no khachu now ti ho hi English la no mo na umule hoi na ya muna to hi global digitally zong access in yoi ta in now wa ko na hina multilingualism hi emphasis api oi ta ne p 2020 as no hi sa hi henge a pau zong het a pau zong hi in English zong hi in hi wanga hi one thing I encourage and challenge the young people is foreign language khat zong he te na or Hindi a zong hi practice na bol the because the scope for career in English is very vast India sunga bo hitalo English literature hi la le even beyond the country akitsia na zong kitong the hi ta na but then we need to know the language of the country that we're going to ti zong su ka say no min NEP noya a hi dinga le hin career options so obviously schools zong ta na teaching education be in the be it ball BSc in the zong le be it na ball the hi in sibo chu hi lawa academic sabo focus ki bolta lawa hin NEP ahe it's also your skills and what can you gain while you are continuing your school education so AI ho kyo phat ra chu ani lawa hi na unfortunately we did not learn AI or how to to say the coding hi han lang data lang hi literature to song ahung ki zok mat ta in tu langa hin za hi naute ho hi lekha sim to ki bo ma hi skill set specific skill sets hi hoi lang ka ki improve theile by the time I graduate or by the time I finish my class 12 apart from my academic score hoi ipi skill set hi kanele I can be ahead of people in the race ti khat hi na nei tu chu ka say no me say thank you
Okay. AI thu na in se kong AI he kalung lun ma jengin AI chung changa hi teaching langa hi kan do nom khat min na hi AI to digital era hi nangma teaching lang ngi hen lang hi lo le student ho dinga learning langa hi changa ti khial na omam
Aki hiel na tsu na. Number one here, both it has its pros and cons. Pros are tsu hile, oza zong students zong hin, using the help of AI, quick learning hi te ta na. Number two, AI can help you not only learn faster, but also help in your process of thinking. Tile points, for example, analysis, book analysis, in show in the points na. So it shapes our thinking. Also, secondly, kay man sa adana pet na kasi na kizong interview ka kiko no dengan AI kamangin I part na kito as in part ho umzi po na. Si ho ting la kun syllabus vast ta hi ting la kun for example, Aristotle's Poetics tile. Can you please summarize what is Aristotle's Poetics na tile? Student ho ting so na bullet point na umzi na hin. Si ho email si ano si kisip lagang so la kisil hin. Downside to hile, for example, as a teacher, what I'm facing is student ho hin AI yaman sa over plagiarism. Lekha ting hin am ho own thinking talaw. Computer ako na, internet ako na bo hi a copy paste sa bolwa as hitam ta ve ki encounter tain. Cha he ho jong software ki mangkit na. Plagiarism count ay lo le cha a detect bol hin na dinga AI yaman ho ham ti hi akimang tain. Sisa he had extremely dependent ihile. We are not able to develop our own analytical thinking because literature the ultimate goal of literature to help us become analytical thinkers na lekha isima ko na panoy le si chondan chandan kimu bo hilawa you are asked to develop your opinion on culture on society, but when we depend too much on AI, what it cripples us from becoming thinking people. Chichu kasay nomin. Pros au le lekha sim na langa chungang chalin quick learning au the tichu lang kasay nomin.
Okay.
And then Grammarly, or for example, apps for women. For example, research reporting le grammar check boarding app was on so for thau na in na. Adang dang to access bolitam tao min hiwanga hi. My ultimate opinion would be ahi thei chana hi nangin na simova na changa na kisumova opinion ki form, but don't be completely dependent on AI this ko say no me.
Adi kui tabang English assistant professor ahinom au male book syllabus se hilawa books dang ho ko simkhui chana poi mo em
apoy mo si chu class ay luting le chapang ho hi hilting le na a syllabus bo chu ki hil ai pon. For example, let's say if I am teaching poetry, particular poem na Shakespeare aka hil zong le chun, if I have read something outside the syllabus comparison hung ki draw the na chapang mo hil na chu chi ako na chi author zong hin chi asayin so worldview similar ay le contrasting worldviews on chapang ho ki say pi thing. Not only that, reading beyond the syllabus apoy mo na til lekha in sim ting le you get refined as a human being ti khati kamoto enken song na ilung tim Johnson chandan chi culture hi style a behave le for example hard times novel is sim ting le hin chapang ho Charles Dickens Hard Times, right? Chapang ho education very restrictive and restrained way of education kimu versus two life options dang innovative way of teaching ho kimu na difference ho kimu thein chia ka say num chu hile please read as much as possible, but also remember that you have to keep in mind isim ho hi how am I going to use this alongside my teaching hi sim na isim zong le enjoy bo na dang su sim the hi nei ba nga hi career ki gong di ta hi le chun is this going to help my preparation for my career ti nga le kha zong hi select bol nga ti ka sei mu
adi to hi teaching langin onglu datin teaching a hi approach achom chom aumin na teaching style hi chom chom aumin nang ma approach nang ma teaching style hi tabang dan ham
ke pedagogy hi lena say first of all ilagaw hin photo aki distance thei po in student ho hi pathina ko na give a heti in kala in na I am responsible towards them, and even if nobody sees how I teach, God sees how I teach. So I have to teach with them, approach them with a heart of love first of all. Ngai lut na ai student ho he approach bol ngain because they come from different contexts. Na to IIT akana to azong to English to thelo sa pangzong le khathim ta ta iwanga English backgrounds are English to thelo rural India pa na hong song umuwen na Jharkhand Bihar la ako na ho song to privileged family hi le to thei now ben atho thelo mong song o min cho ta bang hi when you meet students from different contexts, one thing I make sure for myself is I have to approach my students with love. Second is well prepared hi ngai na thau su tha na thil bot lo ai tunya ka hi li chapang ho in be a pat chom pi thei ham ti approach na ya attitude na lut le the students can also feel that chapang zong wel ta po na chapang hon zong oza hi well prepared hi amai lo le do they teach with a sincerity a feel thei with that's my approach. Secondly, since AI ka say banga so I use the help of AI, but I also study my texts. Ani ni ka approach na teaching lang ahin. And then the other thing is ka colleagues ho ta zong conversation ka nei zu ben how should we every Wednesday once a week ka to pa mo ba ka teaching methodology in the idea ka share to over how can we improve the kinase. So it's important to also share one's ideas with colleague ho like iron sharpen iron kiti huna chiko kasi no me.
Okay. Students on English class he challenges a face common khalaninan say theidam.
Okay. Two types in na. One he for example IIT to English ka hilwanga to BTech student ngan nga hi na bona hi all of them were BTech students, so we could not start with literature right away. So language langa conversational etiquette me to iti ke hawdham hello le basic English grammar hello lai ho hi chom ma he ki khena am ho thep na am ho level dung zia chu ki hil a hi na English proficiency dung zia chu chu I ama sapena hi le I think language in then literature is na language classes for ahile nzo ki say ma to ss ki bola to dung zia to grammar parts of speech ki hilham level songs it for chile comprehension lang na writing editing ti holang hi ki hilo hi in ai wanga to themes lo English khas sa se for to basic grammar ki hil. When it comes to proper English literature hi ting le wang hin immediately what we do is we introduce literature, the text of literature to them. The context, approach to it. For example, I'll give an example. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. Context of Holocaust, 20th century, World Wars, to explain myself. Chizawahi, text approach. Citizen, approach that. Also, it differs from teacher to teacher, how we approach teaching.
To hi work life balance thua ka hindo no min na jong na tongin research on na bowling ka tasanin na bol na la research
hi 2024 achu kana chaya na ka bol ta lo hi wanga chu time to time achu paper publication conference ho ahi ka zaw jeng na lai hi se
chi chu ka hindo no min na to chun ipiti balance na bol dia chi ho chu
music to ka te ka no men na balance ki ting le hit ha ene wanga music song hi slow tempo slow a omen rhythm agang zong a omen na chidung zia yong kilama hin for example lam than ro ho chile music a kan le kilam zeng a all ta ki khatin in hozung sita bang chu hi na there are seasons in our lives where we're extremely busy, and then seasons in our life where na to koi ta ki focus thei na zong a omen ke wang chu approach le for example in sung ki su to na to laita hi ai bang chu family gathering home this le mentally too I know this is going to be a very busy season, so I won't be too hard on myself. But suboy di lawai bang kathasit la chun ke le ke hi kaki khazi hi na. Practically day to day to kasay di chile. Number one is I try my best to start my day with prayer and reading the Bible. But in to pat man form hi apoy mo na. Imazo siya mako na in sisu to pat man form masapen kapanin chuting le igil kilo nung there to breakfast. Then I go for work and na to teaching period waktu hoitan ka bolin teaching ahong kitsay le kon break jong khat kikila I stay back kakuli ko akile zui nei wanga chu interview wa deng ka got this azum chu campus ai ka umdana le kha kana simzui a hin zan pun ko kung som jan tabang na jizo wa chu in kikile in work life balance itile hin I priority in zong apo in what are the top 3 most important or 4 most important areas in your life chidung zia chu balance ki ball na for me God is my priority second family students na Sunday school oza zong okipanza I don't let anyone disturb me on Sunday I have to focus on church and serving the children so phone call ahong zong latam zo ka tu zui ta lo in Sunday na but on other days it depends according to the situation but if those 3 or 4 priorities that I have every day I've given my best to them everything else is okay di dana na negotiable ng kala so here
okay mama zeng nang ma professional life na kanto na dinga hi na growth na dinga hi chi research publication chule academic conference ho hi chan gaya significant hiya
a significant mama in na zi chu interview ho to anaute ho uti ho loi ho assistant professor adinga hoi lai lai zong ki kong hoi ka sei pi no ha chu score hi in a form of filtering le khon publication in a ball zat book chapter ki si zat conference is out no in points a carry mama in so far he thilung se na kya he more than 10 conferences I paper ki present ai tai na ithanop za azong chu ki ball hi in ithanop lo chun ki ball khat lo ki ball ma ki long mai the hin but apoy mo ethical wazong chu ka sei the ko is chu number one is conference hoi sitting le you meet other academicians future collaborations on hi the na le kha si form no ai lo le somehow you can meet people who can help you share and improve your career likewise ends on me ki thu pi the na job opportunity a umeti wa hi chu ha ko nai hong ki he si hi in community a zong hi apoi mo mama for example tu chung ning kum St. Stephen sa ka apply ni dia so hoina ko na naute ho recently onesima chu naute ho assistant professor economics amu hi in ama chun in sei pi ako na chu kana fil hi na kana he lo na to na ki to za cha dam ho ni khela man che chi ka he en til in sei pi le chi networking chu apoi mo in ho amy naute ho scholars ho ka til ko nom chu khat network is set low le career hi na I khan to na let's mutually watch out for one another ti chu ka say mo me
adi mama zeng networking thu na se la kan auto khat PhD bolo meaning sana diwa ama ko ma ta number kan kila he
oh okay pa me apoy mo mama networking we he isolation a ki thelo hi na success in more things on it's a collective success it's a ki mo ai po nu te pi te pastor ho taw na loi te ban he tai en sei pick na ho chwa ko na na ki tho khom khoma ki mo form hen
okay
it's a blessing
adi nu me hola nang ma role model uma chi academics lang a he
nu me hola na ka hai thelo oza khada omen inzo ka say deredu na ka kai laya shepherd man to one person in thumta bang kan na obviously kanu zong in mama hi galma sanga chu she was a principal school teacher and he na kanu in zong kapa zong ni jona academic sal honei sa hi my mother is also my role model in terms of hard work and perseverance and how to teach young adults children his own na ai ban le college life laya chu Ashima ma'am kiti kan Ashima Sharma kiti in Tagore Rabindranath Tagore The Home and the World kiti ko amon first semester in hila hin ama chuna at nan so hil dan so very simple but tu chan ya hil boy ki gel do na lai hin. And then she was a very humble teacher. She is a humble teacher. So to hin nam atum na to jo shepherd ma'am ka say de raduna in hil do to ama am ho si to inspire wallet to say no.
Okay. Tua hi ka in don num chu khang dong ho di ai mai ho. Hi chana encourage na bol no ma higher studies lang na chi teaching profession lang hi alu theina ding va hi.
Now te ho koma katil hole nom chu hi le it's a long journey till he abaya ki mula baitenin akil haso te na. But when we have worked hard, when we have prayed and trusted God, when we are surrounded by community who prays for us, we go a long way to say no min. To la doi ina yuwa hele give up mo bo po te to say no min na. If you are very sure that you want it, provided that patinin sila ma he ko hinam ti hoi ta ki hit chena e chi rong he apoi mo ka sa in ai ni dei khat o min patinin ni bo sa nong khat o min na cha hi now te ho song early on na he 12 na class 11 12 10 hi song le taw na ki man pan taw when ti chu ka say no min ke song boarding a kana lai ka loi nu to kana taw khom su hi na e pathin ni pini bo sa no mam te ka ni ki taw ji hon hi kol ho Madhya Pradesh apa la he ka loi nu chu ka taw khom se ka taw hon ji hin small act of prayer in faith God hears our prayers chỉ có say mà sân nomin en it day dung dây chỉ để khát về là những cái đi lâu khát thấy hiện nay bằng bát thiên in năm mùa hi nang in na nó tọa đan mù ting là lọt hin nó mù ting là hin năm song hia cam sung song hia bát thiên bị thì iman sa no mù bang thì gel gelu te thì có say nomin anh na achu cái điều không nom chu lung niêu bổ te na lung niêu na kiti hi ai le ai prisoner ki tabang a hi en ko chu ki hong ai ki po do lo tabang a hi na lung niêu ai le ai low self esteem nei po te I also struggle with it ai wanga when you overcome this the sky is the limit now ai ho gal le to chong ifiswin chi zo hi opportunity la ova e tompan na zo ova ila adiu a hi en mi ka kinoi se sa lo de na kanam hi mi na noi se sa thei lo de ka thi ni mi ka noi se sa lo de ti a he lung thim I put wa le khai sim diu hi ka til ho no min nu le pa te song role a play alin ma sa hi in case nu le pa te avet kha hi le cha te de nga he to pe na annual town na he poi mo e ti kanu le ka pan song adi de ka nu hin annual town na ini man pi sing a he na career a de nga song ka u cha de wa he mama hin town na le annual thoi pa ti na ni bel sing a he patinin in I bol sa nom sa nga patinin ka cha de nga hi pi bol sa nom am ti hi to ko na hi nu le pa te patin bo din tao te si su lo pi na ding in chu ka sein mo men na at say na chun never study in isolation ka tin chu injo ka sei banga chu mentor ki holu vet na mentorship apoi mo dan hi en mentor ki hol ngai hi na mentor hi hung dinga hi por en zo ka ki hol thua request bo ngai za ta hi approach bo ngai ki azong PhD ka bo la ya tu chana in good relations ka maintain in ka guide nu to ka guide tening to hin amani lungsit na zala jong hi interview ka to si long recommendation letter hi amani easy pi hona hi na but even more important than that hi ngai lut na relationship ku ikoi dana li o zo ho to jong hin ngai lut na akichangin am ho phathei bo na jong akichangin na now ti ho chu ka sei pi no min aban le thim zil na ho hi kin jong ka ha se ngai to pon ji internet an ho na changa na kisimuwa na hol do thei ngan phat wa I umoi tai na hi wanga emphasize ka bol non chu nu le pa za bol de he na han ho nu le pa za bol ti hi ka sei no min nu le pa iza bol le pathin phat thei bo na ki change ti wang he ka emphasize no min inewa ko na hin support nu le pa hi in nu le pa hi nui si po tin ngai lut na le za bol lai nu le pa treat bol lu tin tau pi zing o tin na a han ho te ate ho zong nam sunga han ate ho zong za bol ta hi relationship maintain ngai ve ti chu nau te ho ka sei pi no min a zi chu pathin hi thil ki bol thil ki dang ta bol thei pathin a hi in our heart needs to be ready for what we are asking from God no deserving lo ta pathin I ke ya zong he kamu tinga lom lo ko e hin hon pi a hi in na a hi to you and I we need to be prepared to receive what we are asking from God so a heart he needs to be in the right place to ka say no me si zong chu ka be no me hi thank you
mem them thì kan do no min khat chi teaching profession tailo profession dang pp opportunity umam English graduate horinga
okay I advertising company sa zong aba le book houses wa zong editor na publisher a zong all hi kal to thei chuting le UPSC civil services ki got na zong English hi means a option lang UPSC ki gong no ho zong chun na thlen theu azi chu mi na hala po English hi na as an optional so if you are a student of literature you can think hoi ta chun na simpan wa le bi a ko na chu UPSC being ti zong le chu option khada hi in aban le ho Delhi ne pa ai lo le NCRT ho chua zong hin editor assistant editor ho ke ko zing in a background in English chai ho adai ho in na chua zong chu ka se no men direct arts langa lut nom ti le entertainment langa lut nom zong le script writing langa zong role a na paycheck hoi ta mu ai lo le for example Maruti ho say le Mahindra ho song ho advertisement bol na dinga slogan zi ho song ho atam zo English ung chai ho na bol a hin a paycheck mo hoya hoi the a hin so options zo ume apart from teaching and then additionally traveling bol no travel thano mo gam choma chi no ho song na and so say mga chu if you are a multilingual person language Korea na chino ma English na hilnom le to ko na Korean na kizila certificate na earn le chun you get well paying jobs there also so ka say no na yes thank you
hai ho pawa ho culture ho story ho tam ta au min cho hi English ha ki translate le find in atiam I wa noi heading na apoi mo ta ho khu
na go example kapino men na chi zi chu literature tam ta hi go author sa ko na ka sima hi in Eastern Kiri kiti ho na Sky is my father kiti for example ai lo le amwa hi na go hon a bol khat do pom thei khat chong hi oral narratives or traditional stories or hi English are translate no chibo chu hi lawa current political scenario ko na fictional narratives so asset nuwa novel tam ta publish ai tai bol thei mama he ti chu ka say no me as it chu it puts our cultural identity on the national and global map chikha chu omina literature ko na hi culture zo expand ki bol thei mama he ti chu ti zo ka pom na e
chuting le English ha ki ji ho dan chu maths lang science lang thil gilta to ho khu ei pawa khun abai theina chanin pile do theile find in atiam
silang chu ke wang chun opinion ka ha ka gelung ka gel ka po ina say opinion zong ka ha say no pon si chu educators ai sang well qualified educators on an gel form ba in say dio hin if it helps students who are not comfortable with English why not no in langa ho level nga now ti ho ai do le chlaya zong he te hlia hi zong le ei pau zil na dinga zong chu chu pong hon a het thei ding hi la chun why not if it's effective and accepted by the public we can go ahead with it to say no
okay ei mi chapong ha ka vet le English medium ma kai wange tam zo he English ha express impromptu preparation lo impromptu ho day to day conversation ho English pawi tho sa le English medium ma hong kai wanga tam zo hi de bangin a sei thei po win na plus a sei yong leo confidence nei lo na abang chu sei nom lo ti tabang om ji in English ha he chi hi pg hin de tiam
mi it varies from person to person. Kazong to at one point, ina umlaya to kana za zui na English bawa thodin ay banga environment in zong apo in, to be very honest, kaniwa ko na hi KBC na kana kayo hin lang wala ki umlaya to na ahi banga to mama hin Layman's Evangelical Fellowship adi umin tu azong ko na line Sunday school hi munya ni solo hin na chicken say na point pen to KBC to a power patien tu kisim ay wanga layman's such English power na kisim ahi na environment na hi English to ho nala ahi unga ipaule inzong aki iza chat na ko all na hung mangin ahi wanga chu a hol a ki kai uma English it thogo ko awkward aki chi khat zong chu hiding ahi na and then enjoy say banga maybe some of us have low self esteem min a nui sa de di ham ka tho hele ti ko ki nei zui hen ken jong ka nei hen min tho in tho le to he second language ka bangena ta in na to any reasons on to he may thay and then the other thing could be iga tho le mi e ho mizo si wang to ka say no point mizo si to ti ka say no point it ho le ho hin mi a hung road go le ki say si ki dem ki nui sa ki tamzin so ako na zong hi chapang ho hi they are not able to bloom when they have the chance na akan alin lang ho zong hin at ho le to sa utin na broken English is zong le let's encourage them to say no
poi mo mama jeng to na se chu chu aji chu ei ma area le chu boy pon ei ma area ko na mun cho mai hung po do ting le khun a boy jin na hai tai tho thei lo le a boy mama jin cái nhau lại cho call gặp mà cái cho first time cái cho English ấy thọ đan cho mình thấy được lâu na thì khá là mình bồi mò mà năng mà teaching hello profession life hi challenges na face đến cái ta sen na hi challenges họ sẽ again thấy nó họ chu ipiti na su hấp zo mai ipiti overcome na ball zo
okay challenges lang nga hina say in terms of resources, I would say internet digital world, all of us have equal access. If not, only a few, I'd say, remote areas are access na. Well, most of us researchable is on the website, for example, JSTOR kiti ho ako quality research papers ho tiny simnom le. Everybody has access to that, no? However, in terms of biasness challenges gonna face and say to northeast na Jaipur azong to only northeastern faculty gonna in I'd say 99% of them were really good. Only 1 or 2 of them had biases, prejudice and na. Those things initially realize it Hindu le LSR kaila so anomonic is as Hindu lang aso ay ka mindset hile di mo nga hi zi chu igama ki lo hi na kamchom state chu ma ki hi in jiyo ting le hin ka kalungno mo kalungneo sanga how do I fight back and how do I speak for myself or for someone else the mindset hi kanay ta in sa hi in terms of that bo chu ka face in otherwise by God's grace dang ho wang chu the challenges or the privileges that I face, it's the same with all my other colleagues.
Students ho hin college kailai hi lo le post graduation simlaya hi pi mistakes abol nom jiwem chi teaching profession langa hi ihung lut tile hi chi hi mistake ho au min hi chi hi bol lo phai tia hi na advice nom uma
okay bol ama sala phalama ga kipanlana bola pha e diwang hi study circle ki se movin lang na mi tam hi song le mutual interest na nei pa la chun spend most of your time with such people whom you know will help you in your career forward and whom you can also help hina ki push to thay o hi la chun nothing better than that and secondly you have to identify whom to avoid also. Red flags akititan to like green flag, red flag akitin na. Green flag people koi ham, red flag people koi ham ti identify bo ngai he si to When God wants to bless you, He will send. There's a famous quote that says, "When God wants to bless you, He will send a person. When the devil wants to distract you and destroy your life, He will send a person." Pathina ko na chi na kitu ngai tan discern ball de hesi to student tam ta hi no lepan kinet pine ta in sol zi ho ibang hi university exam di got period na hi mi negative influence nei thei mi to ikivok kha la chun course hi distraction ki face hi na chisa hi learning will come, but what is more important is you have to guard your ways from people who can distract you and destroy your life. Now, just because you don't have to follow the crowd. You are a child of God first and foremost. So know your identity. Your identity you had lo ting lehin. We let people treat us however they want to. Na identity you had lo ting lehin. Values pom lo this on ki pom khathe hin. Just core foundation is nula pa lo na mo na he. Hawin is of the vapatin ho ita again diu hi kasay no med na masa. Second, have a community of friends who are like-minded. While we are also engaging with midang pau dang ilolezat dang nam dang religion dang hotong kivo apoy mo in, but we need to have a core circle of friends with whom we share the same values. Who ibol hil zong le ay po tay di loy zong ne ngay hi na. Ito kasi no min si ito hitin simin hitin bolen tivang so no hon na ki figure out ngay we tain. But these are the landmines dito na so le hin ho sila machi tay di to identify bol masalvin guidelines ka boundaries chi hi in tikal wala hi ka chalo de heti zong na ki set masak ngayo zi to once you're out of your under your parents' wings, you are responsible for your life. To kasi no min na hingi pastor ho zong kitaw sa zing ho vinti to kasi no min ke hin hwa ko na bu ka share a hin na dang chun approach dang nang anei di hin ke hin hwa wang to pathin ha chaw to zong close ta ke wo ngain hin hwa he pathin thulama e guide thei ho bunga na serve thei le serve they in want to say no min. We have to keep ourselves humble before God. So when you have opportunity to serve, please serve when you can. Yeah, say to here. Always please put Jesus first.
Adiye. Any final advice for students who wish to pursue higher studies in English?
In English, most welcome. Please give it a try. It's fun to learn English. English it includes history, political science, philosophy, combine ita na true fictional characters, true non-fictional characters ahin. When you enter the world of literature, you're taken to a parallel universe ding ita na. It reshapes your thinking. On learning, relearning akibol in literature it engaged in lahin. So it's not just for gaining a career, but it also shapes your personality. You're refined as a person. And secondly, also is ka advice ti ham ka til ko na non so English ila o lahin punung zong le practically career options tam ta na nei diwa hi na. Thirdly is this is becoming we are in a global village now, politically and very volatile hi English is becoming more and more important, even in securing jobs, right? Even in our daily communication with others. Silang city bo hitalawa in langa song he. Young people are increasingly communicating with one another in English ahitain. It shapes our thinking also. So literature, I'm welcoming you all to take up literature. It's interesting if you are interested in it. It's the same moment. Thank you.
Tim, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, say. Thank you. Patinin patay na buo si Pahino, nang te hosong na hosong.
Okay, nang mazong.
Thank you.
Thank you.